Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dark and Stormy Nights. We just found a technical difficulty we didn't even know we were having. So if the last episode's recorded a little weak, I apologize. We weren't aware of it till now. But this is our final piece of story. This is kind of the wrap-up epilogue piece to the Huntsman
for the
story.
urban fantasy.
So I don't know if we need to preface this or anything, but this is just kind of a closeout, give you a little bit of closure and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure it's even necessary, but I felt if we aren't going any further with this series, which I think maybe we will, this is necessary. If we are going on, and maybe it's still just nice, because it kind of gives a little something to add to it. Do we have anything, excuse me, we want to talk about before we get started, or should I jump into it?
I don't think so. I mean, I think that where we left off, we were with Elliot, woke up, discovered Lee's dead. They're back in the whole hunting thing. Lee doesn't get to retire. He found out about Rowan. I mean,
so this is just the overarching stuff.
The overarching wrap-up.
So, okay, you ready?
Yep.
As time goes by, a famous swing song played skillfully by the band permeates a lavish ballroom. Most of the midday crowd enjoy their meal as the band plays, and dancers put on a show for them. The hotel is alive at the smell of decadent foods. A gorgeous Middle Eastern woman in a long red dress, red heels, and an elaborate hairpiece strides out of the kitchen with purpose and beauty. She is adorned with golden jewelry and colorful gemstones, and an oil that smells of citrus and vanilla that leaves her skin glistening. She greets guests as she passes. Her presence strikes happiness into all who she graces. She walks through the large ballroom doors and to the front desk of the lobby. Young children of various fey and human descent play and skitter through the lobby of a newly rebuilt Huntsman Hotel, as if unaware of their differences. Grand reopening banners still hang in the extravagant lobby, redone to look like a lavish hotel from the 1920s. Pink marble floors, white limestone pillars, obsidian black walls, and a fantasy-themed ceiling mural of a grand battle between forces of dark and light set the tone. Looking closely, you can see Lee, adorned in silvery full-plate armor, fighting alongside Shayla as fully armored dragon, and Gary and Ren fighting back-to-back as gunslinger and pixie magic caster. The children frolic, their only care being not being tagged in their game. One child halts the game, calling the attention of the others and pointing at the extravagant Art Deco chrome clock on the wall. In unison, the children rush together through the hotel lobby, weaving in and out of the crowd of adults traveling in and out of the hotel. The children make their way to the visitor center and gift shop. One of the children sprints into the tourist center, sliding on his knees as he snatches a golden token from the gift shop counter. The boy slides to a stop, putting the token into the token slot of the restored old fortune-telling machine. As little fey children gather around with all the sounds of a carnival, the old fortune-telling machine springs to life. The eerie carnival music plays The eerie carnival music plays. The tarot cards lift into the air, flying about the inside of the box, and flashing lights begin to mesmerize the children. Fully restored to her former glory, the spectacle is greater than ever. The children are fully excited for what is to come. "Welcome, welcome," Esmerelda bids the children. "I am the astounding Esmerelda." The children cheer and speak her lines with her. "I see your stars. The Norns have spoken. I see your fate. Come ask me your fortune," they all say together as one. "Ah, welcome, children," Ezzy smiles as she looks across the crowd of children who finish filtering in and sit cross-legged on the floor. The excited children all talk at once, creating an almost unintelligible noise. Their excitement is almost overwhelming and anxiety-inducing. Ezzy stays calm, like only a wise old grandmother figure could. She remains quiet for the moment and looks across the children, taking in their excitement. seeing it for the love and gratitude that it is. After giving them a moment to express themselves, she decides it's time to begin. Children, one at a time, please, she begs. Ezzy, tell us the story, one child calls out. Tell us the rest of the story. Yeah, the rest of the story, the other children cheerfully demand. Yes, of course. Okay, come, children. Gather round. Let me tell you the final chapter of the tale of how we got here. The final chapter of the Old Huntsman. The great battle was won. Annalise had failed. All who could be saved and healed were. The Fomorian invaders were taken prisoner to be held trial later. Although many saw her die, Annalise's body was never recovered. Many of the Fae and witch kind had retreated to the catacombs below the city. The Combine had suffered great losses. The Huntsman was severely damaged. We were in desperate need of healing. Nigel set right to work. He knew just what to do. He delegated responsibility to those he knew could and would help. He brought the people together. He enlisted sorcerer and Fae and witch alike. He knew that the Combine and the Huntsman couldn't just be rebuilt. It had become a symbol of repression. The Combine and the Huntsman had to be reinvented, reimagined, and made inclusive. Nigel called an emergency meeting of the first Fae and Witch inclusive Combine in over a century. He sent emissaries to the Fae and Witch people, asking them to come to the Combine and help shape the future together. Though weary of his intention, they agreed to come. With his aid, and together with the Fae and Witch kind, the totalitarian rule of the sorcerers was dissolved, and Fae and Witch kind were restored to their seats on the council, offering them a fair say. The three factions of Fae, Witch, and Sorcerer negotiated for weeks, writing a new constitution and Bill of Rights for non-human entities, guaranteeing rights and protections for all sentient beings, and making them part of a self-governance process that allowed them to a say in their own future. In the meantime, with his new brethren in the Fae and Witch communities, they imagined a new Huntsman and a new Combine that would be safe for all of our kinds together, a beautiful place where all could meet. It would welcome Fae and human alike from all around the world. It would offer them love and luxury, and it would welcome togetherness. As relationships were repaired, so too was the Huntsman itself. As a surprise to Nigel, Lee, Gary, Wren, and several other Fae stood up before the Combine and called for Nigel to be elected Speaker of the Combine, the highest honorary position in the Combine, giving him the power to drive and direct the Combine that the Combine would have in the future. The vote was not unanimous, but it was the closest the Combine has ever seen of such a thing. In his first act as Speaker, Nigel named Lee Lead Hunter. Shayla expressed her disappointment that the title was not Headhunter. To this day, she refuses to call him Lead Hunter. As Lead Hunter, Lee changed the Hunters to Wardens, and their job was to protect all, not just humans. The new Hunter organization included Fae, Witch, Werewolf, and human alike. He even made their tactics more humane. With the help of the Fae, the Warden organization found ways to neutralize the supernatural with less deadly effect, and more often opting to resolve the issue behind the crime or violation rather than the old shoot first, ask questions later policy. Lee and Elliot then pled with Nigel to rescue me from the scrap heaps in the bazaar and put me in the Huntsman where I could be of use. They made the case that I was invaluable to the effort, and without me, it couldn't have been done. This is why I'm able to tell you the story today. They made me curator and granted me official position of a historian of the Huntsman. All who wish to know the history can now know it through me. With Nigel now taking up his new position as Speaker of the Combine, a great hole was left leading the Huntsman and the Hunters, or Wardens. I don't know what I'm saying here. They nominated a great and powerful member of their own ranks, Hathor, who is the new concierge. Esmeralda motions a hand towards the back of the room. The children turn their heads to see the Middle Eastern woman in red. Some of the children make sounds of awe. One little girl can be saying, "Oh, she's pretty." Hathor is the keeper of the huntsmen now and chief of the wardens. With a voice like music, Hathor welcomes, "Hello, children." "Hello, Hathor," the children chime back in unison. "What happened to Shayla, Ezzy?" one of the children calls out. "Well," Ezzy pauses. "Shayla and Elliot remain best friends. She helps the Combine and our people whenever she can. Shayla remains alpha to the werewolves, who were allowed to remain after the battle, and in return, she has treated them well. The Fristvarger is, I'm not even going to tell you what it says because it auto-corrected me to something hilarious. The Fristvarger were dangerous street thugs before Shayla. They are now the lieutenants in a rather large Fey crime family. In most cases, this would be bothersome, but somehow the crime family she has constructed has actually reduced violent crime in the Fey and human communities. And because of this, the Combine and the Wardens have chosen to look the other way. Shayla pled her case, and Lee agrees that she is a necessary evil, although many believe she takes it too far, not because of the crimes she commits, but because she talks almost exclusively in quotes from mobster movies. Lee and Elliot remain partners for a long time, and together they have brought a great peace to our collective peoples. They are invaluable friends to the Fae. Lee eventually gets to retire, and Elliot eventually takes on a new partner, but that's another story. Goodbye, children. Good night. Goodbye, Ezzy, and the children filter out, leaving the gift shop quiet once more. Esmeralda goes quiet, and the children go off to play after their story is over. A stranger walks up to her and puts a coin in her slot, and she springs to life. Lights flashing, carnival music playing. Tarot cards fly into the air and swirl about the box. "Welcome, welcome. I am the astounding Esmeralda. I see your stars. The Norns have spoken. I see your fate. Come ask me your fortune." She trails off. Her eyes go dark. Esmeralda's voice distorts and her lights turn red. The ink bleeds off the tarot cards, revealing the mark of demons underneath. "I see a great black spot on the horizon. I see death and destruction in your future. I see darkness to close eyes on. I see evil like a metastatic tumor." A card pops out of the slot with a shunk and a ding. The mysterious man picks up the card with a gloved hand. Esmeralda's lights flicker and then go dark. The card depicts the hanged man with Elliot's image as the hanged man. The man flicks the card with 2 fingers, and the card smolders to ash as it takes flight across the lobby. The skies outside the hotel grow dark. Lightning strike. Fade to black.
I like the ending.
Do you?
Yeah, normally you get the happily ever after, but you had that with, like, Ezzy telling the future, so it's acceptable to have that, like, dark, ominous, what happens next.
Yeah.
I like it.
Well, I'm glad I was going for that. Do you have any questions? I mean,
no, I think
was it good?
Yeah, you covered it great. The thing with Shayla was hilarious. I think that you covered all the bases. You know that there's a happily ever after. She mentions that Lee will eventually retire. That Elliot keeps fighting. You know the gist of the happily ever after, and then there's the but wait, there's more.
Yeah.
I think it's perfect.
Wonderful. All right. Well, and that's a wrap for the season, I think. I mean,
that is season 2.
I'm a little sad to see it go, season 2, but I'm happy to see things coming in the future. So we'll come back with another episode and just kind of close out what we're going